Hello, my name is Julietta Curenton, and I'm a professor at the Brooklyn College and a teacher for the American Composers Orchestra. And I currently teach winds and brass at Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn. So this is for my students in Brooklyn, but it's also for all of the American Composers Orchestra students. And so I just want to welcome you. So this is the first of 3 videos, and this video is going to be all about breathing. Flutists are constantly asked how we're able to have such large breath capacity, and this starts at the beginning of our training, how to breathe, how can we maximize our breathing, because according to, well, if you're comparing the flute to all the other wind and brass instruments, the flute takes up the most amount of air. Takes more than the brass instrument, takes more than tuba, believe it or not, because we don't have any resistance, meaning we just have a head joint that we blow across and there's nothing to blow into. So we have to produce double the amount of air in order to create sound. So we have to have lungs of steel. So I want to show you how to do that. So what I like to do, I like to refer to this amazing tuba player. His name was Arnold Jacobs, and he was the tuba player of the Chicago Symphony from 1944 to about 1988, so for a very long time. And so just to the eye, you would be like, okay, he's an amazing tuba player. That's why he's in the Chicago Symphony, right? But he was beyond amazing because he had contracted a disease when he was younger. It was called the cardiopulmonary disease, and it really affected his lungs. He was sick as a child a lot. He had scarlet fever and just so many lung issues. And because of this disease, it was as if he was only able to breathe through one lung. That's how little air capacity he had. So what I like to do, I like to take instructions from what he did, because I'm like, if he can play the tuba for that many years, how is that possible? Like, how is it possible to even create the air capacity, even half the air capacity that you need? So what I like to do with my students when I first get them is just talk about this breathing thing. So we talk about where breath comes from. Most of you guys have probably walked around the street, and as you're breathing, you breathe naturally. You breathe like this. So what do you see? You see my chest rising, nothing else. You may see a little bit of my stomach rising, but it's mainly here. But I try to tell my students that that's actually false. There's no air coming from our chest. All of our air is coming from our lungs. So we have to activate that. So when you're breathing, what I like to ask my students to do is to put your hand on your chest, just like that. And the goal now is to not allow your chest to move, but allow your lungs to expand. And so that might mean that your lungs expand. The diaphragm inside is a mechanism under your lung that is pushing them as they expand. And so as that happens, you're going to see your abdomen kind of inflate. But this should not inflate because there's nothing there. It's just your chest cavity. So let's go through this one time. I'm not going to allow my hand to lift, but I'm going to breathe. Did you see it? Did it move? I don't think it did. Let's try it again. I'm going to put both hands on my chest now. So while you didn't see my hands move, you did see this move, and that's the correct way to breathe. So now I want you to try it with me. Stand up straight. Your feet should be about 1 foot apart. You don't have to be lock-kneed. The more relaxed your body is, the more relaxed your breathing will be. I always try to get my students to relax more because that allows them to open up their throat, open up their chest cavity, to take in more air, and therefore the sound will be bigger. And us as flutists, we're always trying to get bigger sound. So, hand on your chest. This time, let's make sure the air is only going to be coming from our lungs, therefore inflating our belly, but none from the chest. We're going to breathe in for about 4 seconds, and then we're going to breathe out for 4 seconds. Here we go. Ready, and did it work? Hopefully it did. So now you understand where air is coming from. Not from up here, it's from our lungs. So I would love for us to take it a step further. This is something that Arnold practiced all the time, and he even made a curriculum out of it for his students, and so wind players have taken after him because of his studies. So to take it a step further, not only are we opening up our stomach. Well, it's not that you're intentionally trying to open up your stomach. It's that your lungs are expanding. And as they expand, do you picture lungs just expanding to the front? No, because we have these rib cages that cover the lungs. They are the protection for our lungs. So they come out in the front, and they do the same in the back. So that means that we probably have some room for our lungs to expand in the back as well. And it's true. This is something that singers do more than wind players. I think all wind players should do it, but mainly singers do it because they need so much air to create the gorgeous sounds that they create. So what I want you to look at, I'm going to now try to breathe, and I want you to see that I am also going to breathe not only this way, but I'm going to breathe in my back. You're going to see my back inflate. So just watch for now. Here we go. So you probably saw that. So now what I wanted to teach you how to do is how to do that. Okay? So what I do first, when I'm breathing in, I breathe from the inside out, from the inside to the front, and then I allow the back to expand. So it's like a balloon. It's like a balloon that is expanding from the top, and then it opens up in the bottom more and more, but the top has to be full first. So I picture my lung like a balloon. If the front is full, then you can fill up the back. You can direct the air where you will want to go. I know a lot of you aren't used to using your air like this. We're used to taking these big throaty breaths, that make a lot of noise. And I have students that make a lot of noise, and they're always wondering why that is. I'm like, because that's a throat breath. You are activating your throat when you should feel like your throat has a golf ball in it. That's how open you should be, okay? And when you're that open, you can take a deep lung breath. Okay? So that's the kind of breath I want you to take, and that's going to allow you to get the deep breath that you need. But now we're going to come to the back, and this is what I want you to do. I'm going to do it first, and then I want you to do it with me. I'm going to put my thumb on the bottom of my rib cage, right at the bottom of both of my rib cages, and both of the different sides of my one rib cage. And I'm going to put my thumb on the edge, and you can feel it. It's about 4 inches above your hip bone. So here's my hip bone. Here's where the edge of my rib cage is, but it's in the back. And I'm going to put my thumbs there. So I'm going to feel around for that first, okay? And then I'm going to put my first index finger on the front of my rib cage, okay? So now I'm going to turn around, and you don't have to do this yet. You'll do it with me later. I'm going to expand, and you should see my thumbs expand too, okay? So watch my thumbs. Watch again. Okay, so now I want you to do the same. Put your thumbs at the bottom of your rib cage. Put the index finger at the top. Right now, let's just try it together. I'm going to face you, and I want you to see if you can notice your fingers moving in the back or your thumbs moving in the back. Here we go. I'm going to breathe in for 4 beats, and then out for 4 beats. Ready, and. Feels good, doesn't it? But it also feels like you've never used this much air in your life. That's a normal feeling. Very good. So now, this is something I like to teach my students that have anxiety about performance, but it also helps with expanding our lung capacity. But in addition to that, it relaxes your stomach muscles. That's why I recommend it before performances. Because when a lot of us get nervous before performances, it's usually because of tightness in our abdomen. So this is just a breathing technique. All you have to do is turn on your metronome. And a metronome is just that little small device that you can also find on your phone. And it has a numerical number on it. You punch it on and a number pops up. I want you to push it all the way to 60. That'll help you keep time. But for today, we're not going to use a metronome. I'm just going to count for you so you get an idea. So we're going to first start breathing in for 6 beats. Yeah, it seems like a lot, but I know you can do it. 6 beats. We're breathing in for 6 beats. We hold it for 6 beats. And then we exhale for 6 beats and we hold it again. And we do that a couple times. And then if you get really good at it, then you can up the number. So we're going to start this way, and you're going to find your stomach muscles begin to relax. And all the while you're doing this, always keep your thumbs on the back of your rib cage so they can inflate. So for now, I'm going to do it with you, facing you. Let's do it one time, okay? 6 beats, 6 beats, 6 beats, and then another 6 beats. Here we go. Ready? Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Relax. You should already feel a little bit relaxed in your stomach muscles. Now, imagine what it's going to feel like when we do this more than once. So now I'm going to turn around so you can see my lungs inflate. My rib cages move out. And I want you to do this with me, okay? So first we're going to do 6 beats like we just did. 6 beats of breathing in, holding, exhale, and then holding. Then we're going to do 7 beats. Hold, exhale, hold. And the last time we'll do 8. Inhale 8, hold, exhale 8, hold. And you'll get the idea. And your stomach muscles are going to feel nice and ooey and gooey and relaxed. And that's the beginning of how to make good sound. All right, here we go. Breathing in, 6 beats. 1, 2, ready, and go. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Seven beats. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Make sure you're on the spot. 8 beats. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Okay, you probably saw my friend the bee that distracted me for a moment, but I hope that you were successful. This is what you need to do first, and then you'll always create the sound that you want. I'll see you next time.